Hello, behind me you can see the 1877 Paley and Austin designed Askam In Furness Railway Station on the Cumbrian coastline north of Barrow. This Grade 2 listed building was the inspiration for one of my most ambitious but ultimately failed projects, to model it in gauge 3, basically 2.5 inch gauge, similar sort of size to G scale but standard gauge. Although I made a lot of progress on it in the early stages, bearing in mind that the actual model of the building itself is over 6 foot long and very heavy, and it was showed at a few exhibitions as a static exhibit, the move that Angie and I made back up to Cumbria in the 2000s meant that we had nowhere to carry on developing it or displaying it, and ultimately the project had to be abandoned. The plan was basically going to be that the layout was going to be 2 parallel rows of baseboards, so it was going to be about 5 foot wide and about 40 foot long. So it was going to be very, very difficult to take to shows even when it was finished. We wanted it to be as groundbreaking as the 2 gauge 1 layouts we built previously, Mardi Colliery and Gottersee, and to highlight the potential of this scale. The main station building was built to the 1877 Paley and Austin drawings and reflects the massive construction of the real building, in that it's made out of 1/2 inch MDF coated with DAS modelling clay, which is then scribed to represent the sandstone blocks. The windows and door frames are all either basswood or polystyrene, and each room is basically decorated and kitted out exactly like the real one was back in the late 90s. The individual sections of roofs are all bolted on separately and all have the actual gas lighting installed on them, and basically it comes off flying wires or plugs and sockets so that you can take the roof on and off as when you need it. Same with the ticket office roof. Again, that has 4 individual lights, but this time, just to make it removable, we've got just a chocolate strip connector that bolts on top. Now the main roof is quite a substantial bit of kit. It's actually modelled exactly on the main joists that are on the real building. But because we didn't want to hide the interior detail, we're actually modelling it as if the roof's undergoing refurbishment, with just a few of the lats on, and then the start of some of the tiling on it. Same with the ticket office roof. This actually slots over the main chimney stack, which at the moment is just in bare MDF. The windows in the ticket room and at the rear of the station building are actually resin castings. Basically made one pattern, took a rubber mould off it and casted as many as I needed. And also the corner blocks, basically you build the corners up on each of the buildings by using cast resin L-shaped pieces and then infill the rest with DAS modelling clay. In part 2 we'll look at the goods shed, Askam co-op, signal box and the last surviving bit of rolling stock from the project.